It's the Caleb MTG Show.
Oh, we got a Mox. Nice. Yeah, not a poke. Fucking obviously, right? I'm looking at Teferi, Athari, and Vampire Hexmage here. Vampire Hexmage seems, thing, right? It just looks like clean with the Mox chat here. Just do the Dark Depths thing, maybe. Kitty? You would take the Teferi over the Kitten. If you're looking to do that specifically. I'm gonna take Grist here. Probably gonna wheel some good green card. Pretty low Dragon Lord. Not. Yeah, right, Tacos? That'd be the dream. Even if we don't wheel the crop rotation, there's still like 2 good green cards there. I thought about taking the Toxic Deluge. I feel like if you're trying to do the Dark Depths thing, though, you probably want to be green-black. Pest Infestation's pretty good. Don't mind taking that one aggressively. Yeah, we're mostly looking for Dark Depths. Hexmage can be playable otherwise if the opponent's got like a bunch of Planeswalkers to hit, but that's more of like a sideboard thing. Whereas Dark Depths is like a main deck thing. I'll get some water in between packs. I like that idea. Do I have melted ice here? Gross. Yeah, it's taking a Triome, I think. Get a dually, get a nice dually. Is Citadel ever good in decks that aren't doing Tinker or Storming Off? Those are mostly it, but I have played it in a few that are not doing that. I had a Workshop deck that was playing it. It was pretty fucking sweet. Citadel and Top are pretty nuts together, even if you're not playing Storm. This Custody Lich keeps fucking me up. I guess I'm going to draft it. Why, Caleb? Why, Caleb, what? Are you complaining about Baby Metal? I've always liked Baby Metal. The sip? Oh, the sip of... Yeah, like the day-old dregs of ice and soda mixed together, room temperature. Not good. I am thirsty, though. How about Cowbell Metal? I get a lot of my Cowbell fix in Stoner Rock. There's a few bands that use it. Some would say borderline excessively, but I dig it. Making Merit copies is not very good. Not really something you want to do. You need a third step in there. The Call of the Ring's looking a lot better now that we have like a bunch of creatures and stuff. We're still gonna take Ignoble over it. Ignoble also looking a lot better, huh? Had we taken the Teferi, the Thinger would have wheeled. Someone took crop rotation from me. Maybe they're doing Cradle stuff. Bird up. Interesting pack, Bayou's pretty great. Bird's pretty great. Monolith, Reanimate, Excavator, Natural Order, and they're all good cards. I'm usually pretty high on Monolith, even if I'm not doing Zerta stuff. I'm also very high on Bayou. The chance it comes back to us, though. Nobody else is in black-green. No way Birds comes back to us. Kind of close. Should we Titania again? Just the exact same shit. Blossom and Tree Speaker are both pretty great. The thing that appeals to me about Titania is we know that Zern Orb's going around. We'll probably get it again. Currently we don't have the fetches for it, though. Cradle and Hoof in the same pack. Yeah, who took the fucking crop rotation, huh? Got some black discard here, it's kind of nice. Some mid-rangey stuff. I feel like we're not super well set up to be doing Crater Hoof stuff. The Natural Order wheels, though, will be like really good for it. Chariot and Pest Infestation, spitting out tokens. I don't know. Not my pack, Oddity? Card's fine. Orphelos is just not that good in these 2-color decks. Drafted anyway. Is Vraska a card I want? Vraska's starting to look a little boomerish for the cube, Wow, the Birds and the Natural Order wield. Yeah, I think now that we have the Hoof, we want the Natural Order, And now that we have Natural Order Hoof, we wish we'd taken Birds over Bayou, but that's alright. An issue. We're actually like not really that black. Like we could just splash for Grist and be mono green, have a better Fellows. Garrick Relentless also feeling a little underpowered. Yeah, I feel that. Someone took the Cradle out of this pack. A card as powerful as Natural Order? Well, you have to be doing, like, green creature stuff, right? Many of those can be at the table. It kind of makes sense that Birds of Paradise and Natural Order would wield together. Like if someone's not interested in one, they're probably not interested in the other, right? Not a pack for me, 10's not a bad backup Natural Order target. If I am playing black, I like the Shieldred better though. Yeah, Shieldred, Smuggler's Copter, Peatland. I mean, we'll probably wheel some stupid green thing. Wild Thoughtseize, Knight's Whisper, Overgrown Tomb. Let's grab the Thoughtseize. Some real quality disruption. This is between Wooded Foothills, Force of Vigor, and Hornet Queen. I don't think we're going to be playing Voidwalker on 2 that often. How are we doing on playables? Like this -9. Let's not grab the fetch then. Let's grab Hornet Queen. Hornet Queen's also not a bad like Natural Order hit. Playing it pre-hoof can like juice it up. Missing the Guy's Cradle, but what can you do? You can't get everything. What did I take instead of Cradle? Cradle was in the Crater Hoof pack, and we didn't take either card. Or, yeah, we did. We took Crater Hoof. We took Crater Hoof over Cradle. And then we got Inquisition on the wheel. We have not seen Skull Clamp. Be pretty sweet here, though, huh? With Bitter Blossom, Walker, and Grist. Would I rather have Eureka or Oath of Druids in the cube? I would rather have Eureka, but it's a little bit more my play style, right? They're both pretty bad. It's just like which people are more interested in. Is Bitter Blossom too brimmer for the cube? Bitter Blossom works really well with Skull Clamp, and it works really well with Yawgmoth. So in terms of like black mid-range, being able to do well, Bitter Blossom is pretty important. You think Craterhoof was more likely to wield than Cradle? I don't think it fucking matters which is more likely. One of those is like a kill spell. Cradle does, you don't ramp into anything if you don't have the hoof in your deck. Like one of these helps your deck function. And if you don't have it, then you like don't want to be doing that. So it doesn't really matter if one's like 50% to wheel and one's 70% or whatever you're like figuring out in your head. One of them is like necessary to your deck and the other one is nice to have. Thinking about Rex Sage. I guess we're taking the Blooming Marsh. Every non-forest duel makes the Raphaelis more awkward, but that's fine. It can just be a regular dork. Gix is kind of good with Bitter Blossom. Don't think we're going to run it, though. I guess we're prime timing. Am I interested in this Kugla? I guess. Yeah, maybe Gix is the play. I think we're playing the Curtains is for an early play. We're a little light on them, actually. Force of Vigor is a way better sideboard card. Light on disenchant effects. I guess we have Pest Infest already. Sick Mog Flunkies. I also credit myself with your trophies. Evening Elders Millennial. Orcish Lumberjack. I've played Orcish Lumberjack a few times this cube season. Been decent. Kind of hate this finale. I wonder if Sword of Fire and Ice is main deckable here with a Bitter Blossom. Alright, I need to get some water. I'll be right back. We did cast an Emrakul off Lumberjack, yeah. Hey, everybody. I've returned. I also got some water. I got my mail. It may be a stack of cards that I've ordered for Cube. I think it's mostly going to be boring stuff today. I got the finale of the Cradle in here. What if they did like one more removal spell or draw spell? I guess we have some draw in like the Custody Lich and the Gix. This might end up being useful. No sack outlet for this, right? Yeah, let's just not play that. Cool. I am not planning on doing a limited set review, no. I'm gonna save my voice. Building a new one, Typo King. $11 green sources. 10 black. That's pretty good. Let's jam it. I did not get a German one, no. I'm boring. Which arena cards? Mostly Oracle of the Alpha. Be really nice if we get this shielded down before they twist. I think I'm just supposed to take the twister, though. The rest of their hand is just not that scary without it. I think we take the Mox Pearl. There's a really good chance they just twist on 3. Another modern staple. Yeah, I knew this run of cards was gonna be boring. Now we got Grief. That's a thing to do. Oh, this envelope's fucking huge. A little large for a card. What have you got around though, right? I'm not judging. Oh, we got an eBay envelope inside that one. And now we got taped paper inside the eBay envelope. Layers and layers. It's like a Russian doll. Hey, XR Kun, thanks for the resub. Thanks for 35 months. Oh, this is fitting. So in order, we opened Fury, Grief, and now Solitude. All of which I was missing. This looks like a credit card ad. That's always good to get. Jessica's Will, Exiling Manamorphose, Fact or Fiction, Vamp Tutor. It seems like they should be able to do something with that, huh? I can't actually see what's in here because they put it in a like a worm sleeve. That's kind of cool looking though. Oh, they're worm card arts, and they were encircling this reanimate. Yeah, you can get cheaper reanimates, but they're not that much cheaper. Like you can go white border and save a couple bucks. I kind of like the vibe of the OG Tempest, right? You got that nice black border. You got the old, the bubbles around it. I dig that. Really like the card frames from that period. You saw Fair to Midland open for Flyleaf. Nice. I'm very jealous, Necrotier. If there's any band that like disbanded that I would love to see live, I think they're like the peak for me. Gotta have a Traxa. I think there's not going to be very many natural order targets in my cube because it's only 360 cards. I think it's going to be like Hoof, Atraxa, and then maybe just like one other big green thing. Maybe the 7/7 that makes a 5/5. Card's decent. And Primetime. I don't even know if you count Primetime as a hit. We got one of those regular white envelopes that's been taped to shit to turn it into like a thick envelope. Yeah, these things are impenetrable. How do you arrive at the size of a cube? So 360 cards is the amount where if you want every single card to be drafted, if you have 8 players. So you're going to get a very consistent cube experience each time. The reason to go over 360 cards is that you don't want it to be consistently the same. You want it to be higher variance. So that can make it more refreshing to draft over and over and over again because you're not necessarily seeing the same cards every time. That's a big reason the Moto cubes are generally in the 540 range. They're aiming for a bit of replayability in that regard. I'm guessing that the cube that I'm drafting will be drafted like occasionally, as opposed to like over and over and over again. And 360 cards is a lot easier to put together than 540. The reasons I'm doing the double power thing is I want it to be like fucking nuts. And that also gets exacerbated if you have 360 cards instead of 540. Like people are just gonna have a lot of power. Are there any constants in the 540 online cube that always hit in 360? I'm not sure I understand the question, Rixus. Surprised Dora didn't do anything after the singer. There's a video of the singer playing backup bass for some American Idol singer. And it got shared around on Reddit. The fans of Fair to Midland were like, this is the most depressing shit I've ever seen. But yeah, even that was years and years ago. Oh, nice. I like how my opponent just comboed for a while I like calmly opened my mail. And now I get to pest infest them. Do they program it so that Power 9 are always drafted between the 360? So if you have 360 cards and 8 drafters, all of the 360 cards will be drafted. Nothing special needs to be programmed. Those are just however many cards you get. If you have 8 people drafting 45 cards each. There's no fancy math or programming that needs to happen. Out of the 540, they do not program it so that power is opened every time, no. Sometimes the power is just not opened. Sometimes key combo pieces are not just opened. And sometimes you get other cards that you might want to combine things in new and interesting ways. For sure, Max Reed. Thanks for elaborating. Your question looked logical, but when combined, the words didn't make sense in my brain. This breach just beats me, I assume they can win. Unless they need to Twister, Does it seem like they balance the cards from the 540 pool? Yeah, of course. The pool, the cards are known. It's a public thing. It's not like you don't have to guess. You can look at the card list itself and evaluate how things are balanced. Are you talking about, like, are you asking me if they weight the packs? Because they do not do that. Like, balance out the colors. They will naturally be mixed up due to shuffling. I do not believe that they weight the packs, no. Hey, Max Reed, thanks the sub, thanks the 14 months. 2/3, right, Mystic? 360 of 540, 2/3. Max Reed says to send out your Twitch Primes, boys. Hell yeah, Max. You think they have color buckets? Gotcha. Yeah, in paper you just fucking shuffle up. Someone sent me a card in a fucking box. I think there's a single card in here too. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Gosty, thanks for the sub, thanks for sharing the Prime, and Westab, thanks for the 13 months. This is just a win, right? We don't have a Eldrazi in here. Oh shit, what up? Hate to typo King, thanks for 26 months there. Yeah, I almost drafted a fucking Eldrazi. Regret. The cube I'm building will not only have Brain Freeze, but it'll also have Painter Grindstone. So I think like the Eldrazi's might just be like cards that everybody wants in their sideboard. Might be bad, might make it hard to channel. Or maybe it just means that I need to put all 3 Eldrazi in there instead of just 2. Like maybe put the draw 4 one in there. And then if you want to like Brain Freeze or Grindstone somebody, now all of a sudden, and they don't have an Eldrazi, now you need a Graveyard Hate spell too. Man, I do not have anything in the sideboard for Storm, huh? I guess we got some discard here. This Dam does nothing, right? I'm gonna play Hexmage over it. Vault Key scenario. Well, it's a lot more expensive than Vault Key, and it loses to a lot more. And it's vulnerable to creature kill ugly paintings. Why do you think it's more like Vault Key and less like Splinter Twin Deceiver Exarch? Yeah, this is fine. Do you think that if Time Vault was blue, like it would be fine? Is that what was holding that one back? Yeah, the fact that one of these is much, much worse than the other makes them feel not very similar to me. Plenty of 2-card combos that killed in the cube. I'll take this Monoliths. They don't have anything to do here. I might not even level up Tree Speaker on 3. I might play Gix and just attack in. It's possible Vault Key should be in the cube anyway. Again, this is a cube with double power. You know, there's 2 time walks, 2 Black Lotuses. The idea that Vault Key just like inherently doesn't belong in powered cube doesn't necessarily hold water to me. It's like a decision, right? Not an inherent problem. Yeah, they have this like newspaper in here, and then the center of the newspaper, a single card. Very creative. Vamp Tutor, white-bordered, art by the great Gary Leach. Rest in peace. I do not, Big Nub. It's not even done yet. Why would I have it all in? Why would I have it all typed up, right? It is something I am working on, not a completed thing. Right backwards, Ghost. Kind of amusing. The power is proxied. Yeah, a fan gifted me a pile of proxied power and Oracle of the Alpha a long time ago. I was like, ooh, this should be a cube. And then I'd also won like a shitload of dragon shields and a box for what's this mastery doing? Do we think this Mizzix's mastery is intentional? Oh, is it overloaded? These are all being cast. Gotcha. Seems pretty intentional then. You demand? Hey, thanks, Logzilla. Thanks for the 16 months. Quadruple sleeved? Absolutely not. I'm not keen on death metal, Kevin, and I'm especially not keen on death metal when I'm streaming. Not the most accessible genre, huh? This is 9 times 3s, 27. Okay, well, that probably beats me. Wait, but they're playing Time Twister after. So he just shuffles back in. That feels like it didn't do anything. Is it bad that you have a fake Lotus that passes as real? I'd say so. It's pretty easy to fix that too, right? Like if you have a proxy that like is too close to a real card, I recommend taking a black Sharpie and on the back you would write not a real card. It's the easiest fucking problem to solve in the world. Because it's never just going to be yours, right? Like, there's always the chance that it ends up with somebody else at some point for whatever reason. Something outside of your control. The proxies that I was gifted just don't have magic backs. They've got, like, the background, but they don't say, like, magic or deckmaster on them or whatever. They're just, like, plain banks. Which I think is about as close as I want to get to being, like, difficult to find, to tell, you know? So we could curtains the opponent. I feel like I just want to play the Shieldred, though. Get my clock rolling. Silver border. Silver bird is perfect. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of gold border cards in my cube, too. It's pretty convenient. Like getting into pre-modern. I get to reuse a lot of those. Recurring Nightmare and what? Guy's Cradle. Grim Monolith. A lot of stuff I didn't really want to shell out for him. Not the Grim Monoliths in pre-modern, but you get the idea. Yeah, of all of the different, like, borders and stuff in Magic, I think that's grown the most on me over the years. So they might have passed like this to untap Monolith. They also might just be firing off a Fact or Fiction. I kind of want to Kugla kill the Brawl. It's pretty brutal if they want to, like, Cryptic counter bounce Shieldred. I wish we had, like, one more mana here, huh? Our proxy's allowed at CubeCon. So people do side drafts with all kinds of cubes. And obviously you can do whatever the hell you want with a side draft. The cubes that are in the main events, proxies aren't allowed because there's got to be uniformity, right? And proxies are divisive. And it's a convention that, like, wants to say in Wizards' good graces and stuff. Just a whole lot of reasons to not allow them in, like, the official cubes. Yeah, no one's fucking forcing you to Maltese Falcon. I don't really care if you feel comfortable bringing them to CubeCon or not. A lot of very expensive cubes get entered. There were no issues last year. A lot of eyes on everything. Judges and what. Yes, Altamar MTG. I already answered that question. There are no proxies in the official cubes at CubeCon. I would prefer it if we stopped asking the same question over and over now. Personally. The questions about, like, what about a thief or whatever is, like, the most, like, tedious thing to me personally. Because, yeah, that would suck, but it's also not like that's a something that would only happen at one certain type of Magic festival. People, like, have vintage tournaments with real vintage decks. And then it's up to, like, the people in the TO to figure out what level of security and stuff they want to do. Well, it's not a matter of someone having already asked it. I literally just fucking said the question, Nightbird. I literally answered it in that very breath that they peppered me with the same question. Last Thief was caught on camera with a logo to their game. Yeah, the Gen Con people that just like took a pallet in this warehouse or whatever. Biggest fear you would have is heavy riffle shuffling. Yeah, right. I assume it would all be double sleeved. Can riffle shuffling still impact wear and tear if it's double sleeved? And then you can like warn people before the start of your draft and stuff. Last CubeCon, the only powered cube that was used was the one that was used for the top 8 draft. If they suck at shuffling, if they're just like really bad at it. No, I think I got it all covered, but thank you, Daniel Thockthime. Right, Super Beeves. Which is what I was trying to get at, and then like mocked for mocked for trying to like say that I wasn't like super interested in all the what ifs and hypotheticals that I've answered a billion times. Like, I don't really care if you're curious. I'm tired of answering it. It's tedious to me. And the questions aren't interesting. But what if crazy thing here? Or like thing that you can, you know, probably ration out yourself with basic logic over and over and over again. Well, I guess we just shouldn't ask questions. Well, no, not about this thing that I specifically asked you not to. Because I'm trying to change the subject. What if the cube is made of pudding? Finally, some real questions. Well, then the thief would get their backpack soggy, and they'd get their just desserts. Mox opening. Actually, is this hand good? Just like curtainsing on 2? Is that like good enough? What else are we doing? We've got Natural Order and Shieldred in here. Those are both great. A sometimes terrible. Thinks they 8 months. Doom says, not sure you can put pudding in sleeves. Is that? Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like a challenge to me, Doomwake. Not planning on it, Diabore. But maybe. I do like some pre-release action. Hey, G. Busha, thanks for the 200 bits. Have I ever played Illusions Donate? Illusions Donate was one of the first net decks I ever did. I don't even know if net deck's the correct term. It was like one of the first times that I ordered cards online to put a deck together. And it's shown up in a few cubes over the years. Thanks, Imp Bloody. Ooze is good against some of the graveyard stuff, graveyard mana stuff. I might not even play something next turn. Don't have a 3-turn clock already, and we can just keep up graveyard hate. Does playing this Grist do anything? A Brainstorm probably should have gone with the draw 7, huh? I feel like I gifted them a free Brainstorm there. Yeah, if you hold down W, Drexy, it might be coded differently, but there's a hotkey to hold down for fast mana tapping. No blue mana? I mean, they have Manamorphose in their deck. They also might have a land drop. I know they have an island in hand. I think they're probably fine. I hope I don't lose because I played this Grist. That'd be a silly reason to lose. Stormcount should be 4, right? Sprawl, Ritual, Vamp. Seems like the opponent's got a hard decision, huh? Song do fuck. You're not wrong, Poopy Pirates. Yeah, the Brainstorm should have been in the Time Spiral pile. That was poor on my part. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Buckle Struggle. Thinks the Sob thinks so 45 months. Okay, they had Manamorphose anyway. Or I guess they could have hit it off the Brainstorm. Save the clock. This is game 3, friend. They have plenty of time. Just enough time to beat me by being down 13 minutes. Yeah, wheeling with them here just makes it easy to brain freeze me out. They should just have it though, Storm at 8 already. Thanks for sharing, Backwards Ghost. Double regrowth? No, it's a draw 7. But it's a draw 7 with Yume attached. We chose not to, which meant that Jessica's Will was mana neutral. We have an extra 7 cards in our library, which I don't think is going to be enough. Brain Freeze is already 30 cards. So if they have one of those, they should probably play it, Escape exiles the card and puts it on the stack, right? I feel like whatever we exile with Scavenging Ooze doesn't matter here. Because they have enough mana to... I mean, Turnabout's only +1 mana. And like Pyretic Ritual into everything. I'm supposed to exile Vamp Tutor. I'm regretting the Grist, but I don't think it matters. They're not going to time out. Not the worst opener. Not the best. Thanks, Root. Not very high on it, but maybe we can snag a win or two. Yeah, right, Catfish. We're ahead of the clock. Clock victory. Maybe they'll time out. It just never happens. Your opponent literally needs to cast a single spell. Chat's freaking out about them being in the red. They still have time to triple check every play. They're not in time trouble. They just get to, like, I don't know, let you chill there. Every once in a while I see it floated that if someone's ever behind by 15 minutes, that should be enough for a loss or whatever. I don't agree with that, because, like, some people are just learning the client. Some people just have bad internet connections and stuff. Or high variance internet connections, right? Maybe Moto usually works fine, but you try running it in a weird area or something. I don't think you can just, like, have that rule. It certainly isn't pleasant, though. Take less than 2 minutes of clock or whatever it is, and literally have to watch someone do stuff for 20-some minutes. Little trick that the Moto devs did is 0 seconds is not actually 0 seconds. There's some hang time. So people win on 0 seconds a little more often than they should. Second 0 is actually 2 or 3 seconds long. I've had a couple over my career. Bugger feature? It's a feature. It was an intentional decision on their part. So you'd have more of those exciting moments. Exactly, Otway. I think we still lose to this Grizzlebrand, I could draw Pest Infestation, kill the Animate dead. Right now, if we served all, they would only take 1 damage total, including the lifelink. That's not true. Yeah, 1. Well, that's not a bad one. It was a 0 second Factor Fiction. Heemcock. 0 seconds off my clock. Chat coming in with the 2+1 math. Is that clip somewhere? The actual win itself on 0 is part of a clip compilation that I uploaded to YouTube a while back. The highlight that was longer, that included the fact of fiction split, got deleted. So the main deck Ooze is good here. We don't really have sideboard things for them, so. What's our best draw here? Bitter Blossom. Maybe a discard spell. Mystical wouldn't do anything. Mystical for Stifle. It's not in the cube, but... Turn 2 Natural Order doesn't really do anything in this deck. We'd rather cast like a turn 4 or 5 one that gets hoof and kills them. Depends on the cube, Ugly Paintings. I considered it for the one that I'm building. It's very like power heavy. Pretty pointed though, Mindbreak Trap. We're pointing pretty much directly at Storm. It's nice that any deck can play it though. I think this Natural Order border is cool, but it just like pales in comparison to the original. The Planeswalker is Grist, the Hunger Tide. It makes 1/1s and kills creatures and Planeswalkers. Right to Typo King. I'll allow myself like a few alternate arts, but it's like, it's something that I try and do sparingly. Just so that people can like still read a pack cleanly, you know? Having to reevaluate like a few cards that somebody knows is way different than a whole bunch. And if people have been checked out from the game for a bit, they might be like rereading new cards too. It's good to make the iconic cards recognizable. Only the ones you really love? Yeah, that's my recommendation. It kind of depends on who you're drafting with too, though. Like, cubes are really personal things. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with personalizing. Oh yeah, border changes matter a lot less than like alternate arts and stuff. Secret layers. The secret layers seem like legit daunting to try and read. Not drawing cards. Yeah, I guess I didn't want to go to 3 life. Hey, thanks, Tim's a turd. They attacked with the Pugilim to trade with my 1/1. They were hoping I wouldn't have a creature for the Grist. Gotta try and win somehow, I was a little torn on whether to attack or not. I think Containment Priest is the only like truly scary thing. If they have Snapcaster or Cathar Commando and want to trade, I think both of those are fine. But Containment Priest just eating it would have sucked. Oh, what up? Hey, Resto. Things are 17 months. Handing's a little something. That helps. I'm still gonna lead on Thoughtseize. Well, nah, they seemed a little slower. I think we can get away with this. You think the scoop is premature? I mean, they were taking 8 there. And we had like 14 power or whatever after you clone a cat. I'm not sure how premature it was. Brutal. And now we have to choose between Thoughtseize and Bitter Blossom. I feel like I kind of have to play it. Or risk falling too far behind on board. The Crocus makes this Gix look a lot worse. Show me what you got. Oh, well, that's quite good. That's a little better than my Bitter Blossom. Guess I should have thought Thoughtseize last turn, huh? Pretty glad the Blade Splicer's not serving. Our line from that spot was to natural order for prime time, then use the prime time mana to play things. This route is dead. 2 games, 2 stompings, huh? Super not close. I think we're just gonna Curtains next turn and set up for natural order. I think we'll let them keep this. That's all you, buddy. Almost 0 chance they use the Prism mana to play the Fairy Mastermind and trade with the Ooze, but I think that's the only way we lose here. The Sorcery Speed Mastermind. Now to choose between Hornet Queen or Prime Time. I just want Prime Time. Hey, Mstiger thinks the 4 months. Glad you're enjoying the streams. Hey, Mark thinks the 5 months there. Absolutely, Mstiger. Well, I'm glad they put this Fairy Mastermind. Wish what up? Hey, ZDX thinks the 5 months. Is there a point when I realized I was better than the average deck builder? So the way that Magic is set up, it's very easy for people in small towns and isolated areas to get swelled heads. It's because you get the big fish in a small pond syndrome, right? So for a long time, I was like really thirsty to improve, and I really enjoyed the deck building aspect of Magic and stuff. But I knew that I was like not really tested in the area that I grew up. Like, I knew that I was good, but I didn't know how good I was, because I couldn't really play in that many larger tournaments. Just free to play on events online, you know. But it helps when a couple of your decks do well and you see people playing them and that sort of thing. Oh, I also got whooped at my first FNM. I don't even know if it was an FNM necessarily, but I was like still in elementary school, and there was like a pickup tournament happening, and I just like brought my decks to play casually. Anyway, I like got destroyed in the first round, and then in the second round, I beat like a grown-ass man with my little kid deck, and got to watch him throw a fit. That was pretty good. So we kind of have to decide what is scarier here between the Displacer Kitten and the Jace. I think it's actually the Kitten. I'm just going to play Kugla. Yeah, I was playing a sneak attack deck with like Colossus of Sardia in it and Weatherseed Treefolk, and no ways of tutoring for sneak attack. Just had to raw dog them. And penny sleeves. I had some of that O3 that you could sack to make 2 red mana. And some random burn spells, but they weren't like good burn spells. I was playing like Seal of Fire. Just like shit I had in my collection. Nice, a Typo King. Yeah, overprepared indeed. Okay. The joy of having shitty penny sleeve decks. Yeah. Loose in like a sandwich bag or something, or a Ziploc. Rubber banded together. One of the kids at my school didn't even have separate decks. Just had a long box filled with white cards and planes. And he didn't know how many, he didn't know what the mana ratio was or anything. It was just an entire long box. And every time he got cards that weren't white, he would trade them for white cards. And so he had one monocolored white deck that was exactly a long box in size. And when we would sit down and play at the schoolyard, he would just like draw from the fucking box somewhere. Just grab his opener hand and fucking play Magic.